Hello, my name's Bev and I'm the author of the book Please Eat, A Mother's Struggle to Free Her Teenage Son from Anorexia, which describes our family's battle with the deadly eating disorder, anorexia nervosa, which my teenage son Ben developed back in 2009 when he was just 15 years old. I remember the CAMHS nurse saying we have to wait until Ben wants to recover before anything happens. And I remember saying back to her, well, what if he never wants to recover? What if he just can't? Which was the situation he was in before I discovered this contract. He'd reached limbo land. He did want to recover, but the eating disorder was so strong that it was stopping him from doing so. And he needed a crutch, something to help him move forwards, and everyone had run out of ideas, which is why the recovery contract came at exactly the right time for us. This contract was a case of working with those parts of Ben, the real Ben, that wanted desperately to recover, and acting as I said earlier, as a sort of crutch to help him move forward and to gradually escape from the clutches of the eating disorder. Another thing I found from experience was that it can be so easy to collude with the eating disorder and actually be working against recovery, because it was always easier and less stressful to let the eating disorder take control of things, which of course meant there wasn't any hope of recovery while that was happening. This post is from April 2011. It's the first post of the month, and it's about Ben gaining a little bit of weight from the 2nd of April 2011. Good news, we are on target, or just about, with a bit of weight gain over the past fortnight. It's the first time we haven't been weighed every week. Funny how I keep referring to it as we, but that's just the way it's become. CAMHS thought Ben would get stressed and unable to cope with 14 days of not standing on the scales, but he was fine. Also, the contract is still working splendidly, and I am convinced that it is responsible for the progress we have made over the past 2 weeks. Points win prizes is Ben's mantra. Of course, some might say it isn't ideal to bribe someone into recovering, but from experience, I believe that if he didn't want to recover and was unable to stick to the recovery plan, then no amount of bribing would work. I know I tried it right at the start when I thought getting Ben back to normal was as simple as dangling a large carrot in front of his face. It didn't work. This time, so far, things are different, but it still is early days. Likewise, the strict eating plan that was introduced at the start of the CAMHS treatment didn't work. It might work for a younger teenager, but Ben is virtually an adult and has always been incredibly independent. So we are having to tailor the recovery to suit the way he is. This doesn't mean compromising. It means carefully formulating plans in a way that Ben can embrace for long-term gains on all fronts. This is markedly different from waiting until Ben is ready to recover. Instead, it involves working with Ben very slowly towards recovery, gently encouraging him and refusing to let him stand still or go backwards. But of course, it's never straightforward with an eating disorder, and we must be prepared for rocky times ahead. No rose-coloured spectacles in the world of eating disorder recovery. That's the end of that blog post. You'll find a link below to my blog, and you'll also find a link to my website where you can download free PDFs of my blog, and also a link to Amazon where you can buy a copy of my book.